Hello everyone, my name is Charlene and today I'm going to talk a little bit about motivation and how motivation impacts my teaching. This presentation is for assignment 3 of the PIDP 3240. All references used to make this will be cited at the end. To the Business Dictionary, the definition of motivation is internal and external factors that stimulate desire and energy in people to be continually interested and committed to a job, role or subject, or to make an effort to attain a goal. So who doesn't need some motivation from time to time? And from a teacher's perspective, how do we bring this out in our students? Elizabeth Barclay states that understanding the complexities that underlie motivation can guide us in our efforts to set up conditions that enhance students' eagerness to learn. This is so true. If I understand where my students are coming from, I can provide a learning environment better suited for them. Are my students coming into learning music with any previous musical experience? Are they being pushed by someone else to learn music? Or are they coming to me because they truly want to learn to play the piano because they, quote, have always wanted to learn? Any one of these scenarios poses very different results. Kendra Cherry defines intrinsic motivation versus extrinsic motivation as intrinsic motivation is the desire to do something from a drive that comes from within, whereas extrinsic motivation is the desire to do something based on external rewards or to avoid punishment. The thought here is if you love to do something, you are internally motivated to do that particular thing, even if there is no reward. So what does this look like in my situation for teaching piano? First off, I need to know why this student is taking lessons from me. Is it their parents' dream that they can play one day like Beethoven or like Bach? Parents didn't get an opportunity to take piano lessons when they were a child, so naturally they want their child to be musical. Whatever the reason, if it is something other than the students themselves wanting to learn how to play piano, extrinsic motivators will need to be used. Wrong. I am all for using external motivators like encouragement, pep talks regarding their progress when things get rough, stickers and prizes. Although these work, they are very short term. I believe that my student must make a connection at some point between having to practice because I'm telling them to and realizing that practice yields really great results and also feels like a great accomplishment. If the music or theory that I'm teaching is too hard, this can deflate a student's motivation as well. This is something that I'm constantly evaluating and assessing in informal ways during lesson times to make sure that I'm teaching at the appropriate level. Boredom. This is another motivation deflator. According to Kendra Cherry, she says that it is important to pique the interest of the student and maintain curiosity and help the student set their own goals. In September, at the beginning of each school year and piano year, I sit down with the student to get some goals. I have a variety of long-term, medium, and short-term goals. Long-term is where they want to end up in June of the following year. Medium goals are picking some themed music when Christmas comes and when preparing for the year-end piano recital. Short-term goals might be looking at 2 to 4 weeks ahead and making sure that the student understands how they are tracking. This gives a better view of the end in sight, especially if they're having trouble staying focused. Twice a year, each student can choose some theme music that is not part of their usual curriculum. In December, they can pick from a variety of Christmas music to play for their family and friends, and later on in June of each year. Each student picks another song of their choice to play at the annual piano recital. This is a great opportunity to pick a song from a favorite artist. I also believe in not just the learning, but the enjoyment of learning. I teach a classical method as the fundamental concepts being learned, but I also teach more contemporary music as well. I believe that all this plays a large role in hopefully helping my students be more motivated. As I stated earlier, I believe that it is important to get to know my students, and hopefully this will give me a better understanding as to what motivates each one. Is there something going on at school Or for my adult students, are things too hectic with work and family life? Or are there greater struggles that would hinder their ability to get through their lessons each week? Maslow's hierarchy of needs gives some more perspective on motivation and each person's ability to be motivated. This idea is a tier system. At the bottom are our biological and physiological needs, our basic needs for human life. Next up is our security. Our financial and personal wellness are crucial in obtaining this second step. Third is belonging. Family, love, friends, intimate relationships are all major contributors. Fourth step is self-esteem. This encompasses the feeling of accomplishment and our reputation and responsibility. The final step being self-actualization. The idea is that if basic needs and the feeling of security are not met, then the motivation to learn will be that much less. So understanding where my students are is important. If there are struggles on a social level, then practicing is not going to be top priority. Granted, I won't know all that is going on in my students' lives, but being mindful of the impact their lives have on their learning is, I believe, one of the first steps. To whatever capacity that means for them. But it also needs to be the goal of the student for motivation to move from being extrinsic to intrinsic. Thank you for watching my presentation